Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Welcome to today's analysis. What a week it was. Most of our trades went into profit, alhamdulillah. The market seems to be recovering, but there are some risks and also there are some opportunities that we need to take a look at. Everything. Let's go and start with that. First of all, I want to go through the liquidation heat map. So if you take a look at the coin glass heat map at around $94,000, which I did give you guys this level in the community as well, and in the previous session, that this is the recent support level. And you can see that a lot of people have been liquidated, which now all the major liquidations lie upon $98,000 to $100,000 level. If we take a look at the weekly chart as well, let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of liquidations above. The risk is still around 90,000. Let's see if that's what the market is going to turn around into, but the near liquidation area is around 100K. So it's quite possible we're going to see 100K very soon. If we see in the CoinAnk liquidation heat map, you can see that there's still a little bit of risk around 94,100. Even on 3-day chart, it still shows me 94,000, but there are around 99,000 up to 100K. Let's take a look at the US dollar chart and see how this one is going. So previously we had this run up that I mentioned. If the chart closes above 98, we can head toward 99 or potentially this supply level that was broken. This level unfortunately couldn't hold, but we are still above this line of resistance, which there is a level of supply, which I believe should hold for now. And if this holds, we will be taking a look into something like this. Now, every other scenario is invalid. We will be looking at this scenario quite possible. Are we going to get another rally? If we see this, then Bitcoin might probably push toward 90,000, which is a little bit of risk, but we don't want this line to break. So this level of 100, I have talked about this a lot of the times. Again, I'm telling you that if something happens and this level gets broken, and if we see a close above this, especially on the weekly, because there are 2 days left for the weekly candle close. Let's see what's going to happen. So on Monday, we're going to be witnessing if this chart is going to go lower. That's why you need to be positioning yourself for the upcoming week this way, inshallah. But still, it's quite, everything is up to you. I'm not going to give you financial advice here. Okay. USDT market cap has broken, or the USDT dominance. But if you see this, according to supply and demand, is a level of demand, which we wanted it to be broken. Okay, for the daily chart, it has been broken, but you can see that this resistance is also getting rejected. Now, we are in between these two lines of support and resistance, and also a level of demand. So if we draw the level of demand, it would look like this. What we don't want to see is that this line gets broken. So far it has been holding, but if this gets broken, the only last thing that I'm looking at is 6%. Well, let's see if this chart starts forming an uptrend, then we're going to exit this. Otherwise, you can see that we are still on a downtrend. We will keep tracking it on daily. We're not going to see other time frames because for me, daily makes sense a lot. If we see something like this, then it's quite possible we're going to go and touch higher levels in USDT, and we're going to see lower levels in Bitcoin and all cryptocurrencies, especially the altcoins are going to lose a lot of their gains. That's why I keep telling you to take profit, and that's why we have taken a lot of profits in our altcoins as well. I'm going to go and show you guys. So don't worry about that. Bitcoin dominance held this level. So previously, where we were talking was this level that got broken. What we didn't want was this candle to close above this. And I have kept mentioning that if this closes, we're going to see it going back to either this level or higher. So what you're seeing here is it has gotten a rejection above from 59.85, so almost 60, which is the level of supply. It's Azan time. Unfortunately, I had to do it at this time because I am leaving. So I have to do it right now. Okay. Yeah, that's it. We don't want Bitcoin dominance to go above this level, because in that case, we're going to be witnessing the continuation of a bear market. So far, the market that is recovering is trying to get back to the bull market, which I have shown you a couple of times, a lot of the times, so many times that this is the situation, because if we get a rejection from 100K or from going back below 94,000, the risks of going into a bear market will increase. That's why we need to always keep eyes on these levels. Once we start forming an uptrend back in Bitcoin, then things will get easier. So this is the total chart. We had this break of trend line, and it is forming an uptrend, but we are still below this 3.23 trillion, which we talked about this in the previous session. What we did talk was that this line should hold, but the risk was that just in case, if it doesn't hold, it can go back to this level of demand and it will bounce. Now it has held up quite nicely. And what we want is that we don't want to see this keep closing below 3.23. So far, if you see, it has gotten rejection. That's why we took profit in Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana and almost all of them. And the reason was that I don't see any breakout, but in here, I was confident and we invested here. And I sent you guys the signals as well that here is where I am buying. And I did mention in the previous session as well, I gave you guys a clear roadmap, and so far it has been going great. What we don't want to see is this happening. So it's quite possible we get a retest of some sort like this, then it will be fine. Where will it take Bitcoin? It will take Bitcoin back to 90,000. Is that a good thing for Bitcoin to go below 94? Well, it's a no. It's no. But let's see. If you have been taking profits, why do you care if it goes to 90,000? If it holds $90,000, then we're gonna invest back there. Otherwise, we wanna see a breakout of this level and above. What is interesting is if we lower this level just a little bit, you can see that there is a breakout of this resistance happened as well in another form. So if we put it on this line, which is the recent resistance, you can see that it is holding this resistance. This is the reason I'm still not quite bearish in the market, because I want to see this being held. I'm going to show you that exact level in Bitcoin. You just need to be patient. Okay, so we can consider this as an entire zone that it is trying to break out from. So where am I gonna take more profits and sell? Probably if it closes below this current line. Let me make it back yellow. So below this yellow line, I will sell some. I will wait for entering back at 3 trillion. But for now, I think it's fine. I think it should just hold and go up because it's quite possible we're having this scenario. Now, why am I keep giving you different scenarios? Why am I not telling you one exact thing? Because nobody knows the future. What we do is we take all the probabilities and we place ourselves that way. So if you haven't taken profits here, then that is your mistake. And if you haven't placed your orders here and then you came and did it here, then that is also your problem. You need to understand how supply and demand works. You need to understand what support and resistance levels are. So you can place your orders there at the lowest points and get out at the highest points, or take some profit at least. So if the market has a correction, you can invest there. So I am still having USDT. If I see an opportunity, I can buy. That's why I have taken profits. Now, if you see total 2, there's no breakout in total 2. That's why Ethereum is struggling. I'll show you the Ethereum chart as well. So what we can see is, if I remove this, let me give you guys another scenario. So we are in between these two lines. What we want to see is, one, this scenario. It's quite possible it comes back just a little bit lower, and you can see that we have created a new level of demand. We should not go below this because the risk will increase for even going lower than this 1.17 trillion. But every level is important. We're gonna see every single level. Another thing is that if we see a breakout, it will confirm that we are in some sort of rally for a while, which I haven't seen so far. So this is not a breakout candle. The only thing that did break out was total and Bitcoin, which I'm gonna show you. Just 2 charts are left. Be patient. So total 3. Total 3, it did exactly this scenario. It is trying to do this scenario as well, but let's refresh things a little bit and set it according to the other chart that we wanted. I mean, this is quite messy. Let's make another analysis on this. Okay, so if we come and see on the weekly, this is a bullish engulfing. It's quite possible it will start rallying. That is one good scenario. Everybody wants crypto to go up from here, but I also want it to go up. But if I see an evidence that it's saying otherwise, then I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna say that we're gonna go down, okay? So put the line chart. Where do you see the most recent resistance? You can see it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here. So let's put a zone here because what I see is a zone. What I want is this zone to be broken. So even in this total 3 chart, you don't see any breakout so far. What we see as is a breakout of the trend, but not this horizontal line, because this level was lost here. Then it was again lost here, not here. It had reacted, but it was lost here. Then it was retested and we went below. Now it could be this scenario. So keep in mind. Now, this is how it's looking on daily. Where do I see a retest? One possible scenario is here, but what I think is at this situation of where Bitcoin and everything else is sitting, if we see something like this, it is gonna be a discount level at the same time risk. So I would wanna monitor if we see a dump at this level for the altcoins, then this could be the possibility of the next move. Otherwise, what I would like to see is this level of support, and if we come to 4-hour, you're gonna see that it is already reacting. I want this level to hold, to be honest, in order for us to go push higher and eventually break this 920 billion dollar level. So these are the levels. That's how you can prepare yourself. If I see it holding here, I will give you guys a signal again, because this will be the potential pump and this will be the resistance. Otherwise, if I see it not holding this line, I would wait for an entry around these levels. Same applies for total 2. Same thing. This was a beautiful breakout here, so I would want to see it holding. Same for this chart. Does it all make sense now? Because what I told you is there's a lot of risk sitting around 89997 area, which every gambler trader's liquidation level is there. So I want to see it. I want to see the market going to this level before we actually go up, because I will get a lot of discount in the market. Otherwise, if it doesn't, then I'm still good. I want to accumulate around these areas. But so far, I don't have that evidence to tell you. Now, coming back to the Bitcoin chart, because this has been the most accurate one since these $84,000 level. Now, I kept mentioning this chart so many times in the channel as well, that we are in a uptrend in Bitcoin, but the risk is right around 100K to 106K, because these two levels are having two different way to look at it. One is that we were holding $107,000 above 100K for a very long time, at least for 6 months. I haven't counted it, but I think it is something like that. So Bitcoin was above 100K for 6 months. Yeah. But this, after this breakout, we were here for like, how many days? Is it showing me there? Is it the right? No. I had to take the measure until it was broken. So 120 days, which is 4 months. So around 4 months, Bitcoin stayed above this level. And we were not supposed to break this, but it did, which it took us to eventually a bear market. Then the next psychological level was 100K, which people didn't want to lose. But for me, it was just a little bit below it, around 92 to 96,000, which was the level of demand, which was broken. Now, what I see is this 94,000, it just got broken recently. Take a look at all these breakout candles. We first got this move, then we had a retest, then we broke, then we are doing a retest. I'm still not expecting Bitcoin to go below 94,000. What I can expect, according to the liquidation heat map, since there's a lot of liquidity sitting below 93,900, it is quite possible for Bitcoin to make a move like this. Then it can still go up. So if you see it coming below, you can take an entry with 1% loss, stop loss. Otherwise, I am still waiting to, okay, I showed you guys 94,000 level. Oh, it almost reached and it reacted. But if we come to lower time frames, you can see there's no break of this lower trend line that we have. So it's possible that we do such a thing. Otherwise, if it doesn't do this, it's still good for me. It will confirm even a stronger market, which we will push even above 100K. Then I will accumulate maybe Bitcoin or something else to get bigger move than Bitcoin, because we do trade altcoins. So that's the thing. Otherwise, I would wait for today as well to see some sort of confirmation. Okay, ETH BTC is holding this line. ETH BTC is also holding this line pretty well, except that it got rejected from this 0.035 level. I don't know if you guys hear me, but I had a loss of internet connection. It's unstable at the moment. I think it's fine now. Okay, so Ethereum against BTC is a strong, and the reason is that it also broke this trend line as well as this recent consolidation box, which recent resistance was broken. We accumulated around 3,000 to 3,120, and I give you guys a signal as well. Now it is still above this recent resistance that was broken. So I'm still not expecting Ethereum to come lower. What I do expect is Ethereum to go higher. What it can do is maybe do something like this, which is quite a possibility, the same way I showed you in Bitcoin, which Ethereum can tap 3,200, then you can place your orders there. Otherwise, it's moving perfectly in the direction that we want, right? So yeah, where I have taken profits is around exactly these levels. Before it actually made these wicks, I didn't take the risk, but you can see that it did come down back. I can enter it back anytime, but what I want to see is a little bit more discount before I enter the market. So that's what I think. And the same thing I can say for Solana. Look at this. We don't have any breakout in Solana. If you see it this way, but we do have one. I'm gonna clean everything so we can have a cleaner chart, so I can show you that breakout too. We're gonna take this support and this wick. The other one is too far. It's here, okay? That is a zone as well. What we wanted was this level to break. So according to weekly, there's no breakout. According to daily, it did try. It like trapped everybody like it always does, but I haven't taken an entry. You guys know 144 was sell for me. It went to 148, just $4 higher than the level I wanted. But you know that I trade not the exact levels, but the zones. That's why I keep winning, because I don't want to just get greedy because of just a little bit in the market and lose probably all my profits. And take a look at where my entry was. Now, here was the initial entry that we did. Here was another second entry that we did, and I gave you guys a signal as well with a video and a reel. And you can see that it went perfectly. Now, we are sitting in between these two places. Where do you want to accumulate Solana? For me, it is best if it comes back to this level. To be honest, this is making a lot of sense, because it's trying to trap everybody again. Otherwise, if it is a breakout, I would wait for it to take this level out and accumulate here, which I would still be winning. But maybe, and this is just for the trading. For the long term, I still have Solana. It's my biggest holding. But for trading purposes, I still do have Solana. I have taken profits, but where am I seeing it to accumulate as 133? I might probably take out some more position here to get it back in a discount, because I don't believe this move. What I see overall in the market I don't believe this is a good move. So right after we close this session, I might probably try selling and let's see. Let's see what conclusion we can come in the end. So Solana against BTC, you can see that we had a quite good run toward 148 was this because Solana against BTC was outperforming. Now it is also getting an engulfing, which is good, which is really good. It means Solana can still outperform Bitcoin. Where is the next level that what if in case it comes lower, you will be looking at this demand level because this breakout was massive. That's why you see this support level holding perfectly. I have talked about this quite a lot. And yeah, unfortunately, against Ethereum, it has gone back below this line of resistance. So maybe it's possible that things will get weakened for Solana. Let's see. But this is so true. Anyway, let's take a look at every other possibility. So yeah, let's see. This is still has tried to close on daily above this line, which can confirm maybe that we're gonna have just a little bit more retest before it actually moves up. But that we can confirm after we see Solana breaking above this. And yeah, if you wanted to take an entry, it was actually yesterday, which my auntie mentioned it in the group, which was around 140 that she took the entry. But I don't know if she shared it earlier as well. But yeah, it could have been here, but now it is not. And it might probably come to here. That's how I see. Let's see if it proves me wrong. I will take another trade, basically. Okay, Zcash took us straight back to this level, which we perfectly took it. Now, this is 15% from our levels of entry, and it's back almost, it has, you can see that it has taken almost all the profits if you haven't been taking any profit. So I have taken profit until here, but the rest I put in my long-term holdings because I want to have Zcash, which I got this cheap. But in case I would want to be trading, I want to see these levels holding in Zcash. I would trade it again because I had 3 positions. I kept 2 of them. I took out one position entirely plus the profit. Now, if you see it from my view, is that Zcash should come around these levels because that is the discounted level. Otherwise, a reclaim, of this recent support loss could be a good trigger to get in back into Zcash. Okay, so something like this would be nice. Otherwise, let it come back to this level. So there's a support level, there's a demand level. You need to keep eyes on both, and where do we see a reaction and where can it hold on daily and 4-hour chart, then we're gonna take an entry there. So this is the play for Zcash at the moment. Zcash BTC, yep, it went back to below this level. So it can come around 0.004 or lower to this level of demand 0.0037. Same thing for Ethereum. You can see we're still above this level though. Let's see if this is holding against Ethereum, then it would outperform Ethereum. Yeah. Yeah, it is holding this level so far. But if we see it non-reacting around these levels, we're gonna see lower levels. That's for sure. So this week candle close is very, very important. Let's take a look at some gold chart. Okay, so gold is pretty much holding perfectly. So we had two scenarios. One, if gold goes back below 4,500. Now you can see that this is invalidated because it is holding this line and it has already reacted. This scenario is playing out, and this is the next level it can move to, which is $5,000. So gold is very, very strong, and it might just outperform Bitcoin again. And that might not be a good thing for the short term. But let's see if Bitcoin actually can compete with gold and it outperforms it, then we are going to see this chart playing out very well. So all of these have been covered. What is left is this chart. Is it this one? No. Is it? Yeah, this one. So what we were saying before is if Bitcoin cannot close 94,000, the last level of hope that we had, where was it? It was this $90,000 level. So you can see that after it held, it actually tried breaking this level, but that's why everything is so interesting that if we go back below 94,000, it would show me a continuation of this pattern. So this is the risk, and you need to monitor your risk just between $94,000 Bitcoin and 90,000. You don't want to hold Bitcoin below 90,000. So if your entry is at 84, your stop loss is at 90 or just a little bit below at 89,000. We don't want to lose this. Okay, but if you want to secure your profits, then it is this level. But I'm not saying that you should sell. I'm just saying that you should secure some profit just in case things turn around, then you wouldn't have to get out on break even or something. Because this can quite play out. You can put the other trend line on weekly and monthly that everybody uses, which is not in this chart. But I have seen this chart in so many other places because it's on weekly and daily. And it's quite possible we see a continuation because this line was broken, was retested, tried retesting again, just a little bit higher. It can be a massive, massive trap. And if it turns down right below, then it is confirmed that it's a trap. So be very careful. We were supposed to hit 100K 2 days ago, but it hasn't happened. And the reason why it's trying not to go, it could be a big, big, big trap. Okay, let's go to your questions if you have any. Let me see the chat. Please repeat the last support you marked. Saleha Farouk. When was it? They said this 250. What was I talking about? Sorry, I think if you just mention it back to me in the community, I will answer your question. But I don't know which support you're talking about. Yes, guys. So I think we're done with today's session, and you guys seem to also have no any more question. And I'm also I'm also about to be going somewhere. So I will close the meeting today, and we'll see you guys inshallah very, very soon. Have a good time. Allah Hafiz.